So I'm here today to talk about Margaret Lewis. Margaret started working for CHOC on Easter Monday, the 2nd of April 1996. She was one of the first employees when the organisation was created, and actually this was a new era for general practice. It meant that they could work as a cooperative to share out shifts and work together to enable a better work-life balance. So this was really pioneering work, and to have been there right at the beginning and seen a service grow from being paper and pen to becoming fully digitalised. Margaret has been here, and she's been at lots of people's sides during that time. I suppose if you were to ask me, what would I say about Margaret? I would say she's been a constant through some really challenging times. And not just times of change, as we've seen services grow and develop. And that brings its own challenges and excitement at the same time. But she's been an absolute constant through some of the troubles we've had in Cumbria. So we look back to the 2005 December floods. She didn't really go home that night, or she did, but she had to make do with a few colleagues of sharing a room with one of our female GPs, and was right here back early that next morning. Also Storm Desmond, I think we can all remember that, and also the Beast from the East. And we've had challenges around our software. We've had times when we've had to revert pen to paper. And I always know that if I was to call Margaret or pop her a text and say, I think there's a little bit of trouble brewing, she'd be here. She'd be at our side. And I think for all of us, that's what we're going to remember. But we're going to remember someone who's funny, compassionate, has a degree of humility, has a really wicked sense of humour, who's encouraged many of us in our journeys around running, biking, paddleboarding, open water swimming, and climbing the fells. So this is someone with a real spirit of adventure. And she's brought that spirit of adventure to the organisation, and she's instilled that in so many of us here. But not just that spirit of adventure, I think she's been a listening ear, and she's been somebody to get alongside people, sometimes in times of trouble and difficulty. So when you think that all of that and all of those qualities actually span 26 years, then there's something about being a really worthy recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award. And we can't recommend Margaret highly enough, because that's what we think of her. We think she is a person that really, really deserves this, and has contributed so much, not only to Cumbria Health & Co, but to our wider NHS.